I think the 200 plus mile distance is, I'd call it a different sport than the rest of ultra running.
Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm with Eric Senseman. It's the day before the 2018 Lake Sonoma 50 mile.
My last 5 years of running, every single race was highly competitive.
What is the ongoing race favorite for Black Canyon? Eric Senseman, he's got such a storied history here.
There's a shooting cone right here.
Second place, a very impressive finish. Eric Senseman, 8:10:54.
All right, man. So what's up? So we're about to start this race. See you in a few days, man. We'll finish up the flags. 250 miles.
That's right.
Okay.
50 miles.
We've been waiting a year to say this again. The Cocodona 250 is underway. This is going to be one hell of an adventure.
Behind the snowblower.
Let me go get her. You want to come see?
Yeah.
Come on, Remy.
All right.
I mean, I hope to get back to Western States. You know, I've run it 3 times. I've never really had a great race there.
Keep it in our safest spot in the house.
1981. We got it with the house.
I figured no one will steal it back there.
And that's something I would like for myself to have done before I'm done, you know, racing competitively.
Most people throw theirs away.
They're meaningful.
Eric wanted to hang it in the living room.
I did. How do you go about doing that? I know how to race. I know how to train for shorter distance races. So what's the alternative? Like, how do you learn? Well, you could run more 100-mile races, right? And get the experience that way. I think this is another way. So on my crew, my mom's coming out from Missouri. She pretty much goes to all my races,
It's race day.
but is always super positive. So that'll be a good perspective to bring for a race like this. My wife, Jackie.
I'd be interested to see what he says.
Jackie is very diligent and detail-oriented. It's actually fun to see her crewing because
Make sure.
I don't know, it's almost like a different side of her that I don't see like every day, you know? And then Wewell has kind of always been kind of the right-hand man at these things.
Yeah, I've got kind of picked up as the core team.
Probably the best thing about Wewell is he's unfazed. He could walk in the door and I'd be like, hey, Wewell, someone broke into your car and got your social security number and stole your identity, and now all your money's gone. And he'd be like, huh, all right. Kevin, he's a maniac. He'll tell you the same thing if he's being honest.
Eric and I were like essentially meatheads in high school, working out at Gold's Gym at like 10 p.m. on Fridays.
He's very passionate, very intense. As a result, a very good friend, because when he cares about something, he cares about it a lot. If there was a degree, you know, that you could achieve, a certificate, like I'm an expert group person, they'd probably have one.
I think there was a moment this year where I thought maybe he was gonna go for states again, and that moment passed, and then soon after he was like, I think I want to do Cocodona.
The Cocodona course is, unique. I mean, there aren't many races where, I don't know if there's any race, where you run through the better part of an entire state. I mean, that's just super cool.
Now let's head down to Prescott, where the Crooks fire is also forcing evacuations. The fire has already scorched 600 acres there with 0% containment.
Underway right now, areas near Camp Kiva, Potato Patch, and Mount Tridal are under go orders, meaning people in those areas need to get out right now. If you're watching us from your home, you need to go. And those in Hopper's Retreat, Evans Cabin, Potato.
I gotta check in. Man, this is nuts. I was so tired.
earlier. I laid down twice. Feels a little early for that.
Yeah, I woke up race morning and I was just kind of tired. I hadn't slept very well. I think I was probably just nervous.
Yeah, just toss that whatever. Oh! Tim, this race is insane. I was so tired.
You're doing great.
I think so.
Yeah, I got a little sheet in there. I darkened the windows for you. It's just, you know, we wanted to make sure you could get that 20 minutes if you needed it.
This is incredible. Should I do it?
I think if you seem, I don't know. It's up to you. I think you're okay right now. I'd wait until you're more naturally tired.
All right.
You're doing great.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you being out here.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do some
miles.
fucking walking. Maybe we'll jog. I don't know. All right, thanks again, Tim. Have a good jog.
Thanks. I think he was in better spirits than I was anticipating. Yeah, I got a text from Jackie saying that he was feeling tired. So I was like, oh no, it's pretty early. But I think early on in a race, if you're going, you know, quicker than you anticipated, or you're just feeling like you're working harder than you're supposed to, it can just be easy to kind of psych yourself out. But yeah, he seemed like he was in a way better frame of mind than I was expecting, just based on hearing that he was feeling tired. So yeah, I think he's right where he needs to be. You know, we're 7 hours into a 70-hour event, so yeah, I think he's in a good spot. Yeah.
The reason I got into the sport of ultra running largely was to see how far I could run in some way.
We're so used to these fast-paced races, which is like a totally different ball game, and I'm used to him being super competitive. I mean, he's competitive in everything.
Saw an old report card recently that the teacher's little message was, Eric's a little too competitive. So that's his personality.
All right, I'm gonna show you. Okay, not a lot of people have seen this. It's a big deal.
He played soccer and baseball and football.
I'm even gonna take it out of the case. It's a signed ball. It says, to Eric, a great fan, Stan Musial. Fun fact about Stan Musial, for those that don't know, he had 3,630 hits in his career. He's a Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. He had 1,815 hits at home, 1,815 hits away, undeterred by the fans. And then I have two signed photographs from Stan Musial. My grandpa was friends with Stan Musial, so that's how I got these.
And then got on the track team in high school, and the long distance runs were kind of his niche, and he did really well there. And then went on to TCU in Fort Worth, and he turned out to be a walk-on the cross-country team. And he really found a passion for that long distance. So he started running after college, or during college, marathons. And he wasn't winning, and we know he likes to win. So he said, I'll run further, and there'll be fewer people that are running further, so then I can win. And of course, we know that he has worked hard and put in a lot of time and effort, and he has won some races.
I think what he was good at was, you know, working hard, being very introspective, chasing what he enjoys in a very malleable way.
I've always just been super impressed with Eric and how he kind of just takes life.
He always wants to push a lot harder. He's figuring out ways to do it that is his way, not the way other people have done it. So yeah, like him deciding to do the 250, that's, you know, I would have never predicted that.
Corey. Holy shit, man. I'm gonna give you this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check in at the aid station.
Right here.
And then where are you?
We're just across the street, a little bit further. The course station.
Way to go. Oh no. Oh no, I don't feel like it. Yeah, I was a little late.
You're good, man.
No, you're not late. You're exactly right on time.
Let's get you some stuff. We have hot water. We have all of your stuff right now.
All right, I'll probably eat the noodles.
Yeah.
You want noodles?
I think I will eat those. Yeah.
Right, cool.
So we'll just add hot water and let them. I was just tired the whole first day. I just kept wanting to sleep. Maybe both. I just don't want to eat anything that I have. Is the bummer. Man, that section felt so long.
Yeah.
It felt like I lived 4 days. All right, I'm getting in here. Whiskey Row, mile 60.7. I laid down for like 90 minutes. My crew had a camper, and it was a little broken up, but it was pretty restorative overall, and I felt a ton better. But I think I was just behind at that point, like from a poor night of sleep the night before the race, and then 90 minutes of kind of broken sleep. So we just got a full night's sleep. Everyone's feeling good. Nice early start. Really take advantage of the day. So, you know, eventually, I think that kind of comes for you. All right,
buddy.
We're going. Thanks, guys. Unless,
thank you.
Maybe you have experience doing these multi-days and dealing with it. I think my body was definitely not adapted for that little sleep. I actually don't remember Eric telling me that he wanted to do Cocodona, but I remember Steven telling me that Eric wanted to do Cocodona, and Steven told me, okay, I'm gonna tell you something, but like you can't tell Eric I told you. And he said, so Eric wants to run Cocodona, and I think my first reaction was I laughed. Because, you know, Eric's run 100 miles a few times before, and none of them have went that well. And then he also threatened to quit the sport like last fall, and you know, had some behavior that like actually backed it up. Like I was like, oh, Eric's not gonna run anymore. And then he seemed to be like making a comeback, and we were both supposed to run the Black Canyon 100K together earlier this year. And Eric had like this hamstring injury. And I was like, well, that's just a convenient excuse that he like doesn't want to run this race. So it's kind of after that, I was like, all right, I guess this is it. Like Eric's done. And then he like pulled the Cocodona card. I was like, this doesn't seem right. That like you were kind of out the door, and now you want to do something like entirely crazy.
It's a beautiful morning. I got a couple extra hours of sleep, and I get to run one of my best friends up a mountain right now. I mean, this is as good as it gets, I think.
I basically looked at the course, especially the rerouted course, which didn't have as much climbing in the first 60. I looked at it as get up Mingus, get up Kasner, get up Eldon. It was basically 3 big climbs. So it was definitely like checking a box, like, okay, this first one's out of the way. And that wasn't so bad.
All right, going to find Eric Senseman out here by the crew area, and we're gonna get rolling. So freaking rad, dude. Amazing. Okay, we just made it out to the edge of the point here on Mingus Mountain. We're starting to drop down the switchbacks.
And here in a second, we should be able to get a glimpse of Jerome, where we're headed. I'll be pacing Eric down to there. It's about 17-mile section. And if you look right down there, Jerome is right there, clinging to the cliffside. Yeah, we should get an Eric's sighting here. Yee!
Feels a little different after 90-something miles.
You look great.
Thanks. It feels like I'm running in slow motion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still rocky and there's rollers and little climbs. It's also fairly exposed. The ending is great. It opens up to just this expansive dirt road above the mine, kind of leads into town in a real cool way.
But so far, Eric is doing great. And he is, I think, closing in on 100 miles now, which is the longest he's ever run.
Finishing is his driving goal, and that's dictating, I think, a lot of his decisions. So he's trying to take it super easy, low impact, not expending extra effort if he can help it. Yeah, that's why he's carrying those poles. Even from the start, he had them to take a little burden off the legs. So I think he's in a good position.
100.4 miles. Longest run ever. How about that? 150 to go, we'll be fine.
I think one thing he struggles with, he said, is the sleep, the lack of sleep. And so managing that will, I think, be a key to this. So I think he's trying to decide if he was going to take a nap here or to continue down and get to Dead Horse. So I think one of the two spots he'll probably end up taking a nap.
Dropping into Jerome. Legs are a little worse for the wear, but we're managing. A little hot, a little hungry, a little thirsty, a little tired. A little of this, a little of that. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of hot. We're pretty far into the race, but honestly not even really that far, which is nuts. I want to get off the asphalt.
Okay.
I want to lay down.
It's shady down, and we have a lay down spot for you.
There's a
grassy.
Yeah, it's grassy.
I don't know where this was coined. It wasn't me at all. But there's something called emotional acceleration, and we will go through the darkest of times and then have the most blissful moments. And you have to have adversity and do crazy things to ever feel some level of bliss or euphoria. You can't just sit around and hope that comes to you. You have to do these extraordinary things, and some of those will be bad times and some of them will be great. I think a lot of people miss out on not experiencing that, and they might think this sort of thing's crazy. Any ultra seems crazy to a lot of people.
This pace should get me to finish then.
But I understand as an athlete that we're not on the earth for a long time, but we should try and have a really good time. And that means doing really exciting things so that life's fun. And it's more fun when you do it with cool people that you love. I think this will be one of those times.
Like we're running? I'm going to come to the river.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
I think spirits might be a little low right now, but get them dunked in the river and feeling good as new.
When I got to the river after going through Clarkdale in Cottonwood, I felt terrible. Felt like I was dying.
I think it's almost like an experiment for him to see what happens to his body and his mind during that, and personally I'm excited to like watch it, but then also just kind of like hear about it after to see kind of where you go in that state, I guess.
You know, it felt a lot like times at Western States where I was completely like just smoked from the heat. And it wasn't even that hot. It was like 80 or maybe like high 70s. It just felt so hot. So, I don't know, the sun was out, pavement's baking, whatever. But I got to the river and I didn't really, I mean, I wanted to be at the river, but I didn't really want to be at the river. I wanted to be at the next aid station, which was like 2 miles away. So I don't know, I just wanted to sit there for a few minutes, so I did. But I was just out of my mind. Like, I don't really remember what I said or did.
Hey, get those thighs in here.
And I remember my pacer, Will Baldwin, was telling me some story. We were like a half mile from the aid station. And I'm telling you, I was so gone. And I remember it, like as he was talking to me, it was like, I felt like I was watching the conversation from above. It was the craziest thing. I mean, it did not feel like we were having a conversation and we were walking together. It was like he was with someone else, but I was also there. It was so bizarre. And I like tried to explain this to him very poorly at the time. But I just had to like lay down, so I just had to lay down. The text that I was getting from, you know, like Steven and Tim on the ground, I could like just see right through them where they were like trying to be positive. Like, yeah, like that doesn't look too bad, you know, like he needs to sleep, like he's gonna sleep and, you know, and then he's gonna leave. And it's like, this doesn't sound good. Like everybody's kind of trying to sugarcoat it.
It's just I think it's a sobering moment right now. A lot of miles in and a lot of miles to go. After he woke up, he seemed pretty good. You know, the sleep was what he needed. He started eating a bit, drinking.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a brand new toothbrush.
I was telling Will that it felt like I had been like trapped in this bubble for a long time. This was like yesterday when I was high on life. Or completely out of my mind from lack of sleep. And I was thinking about like asking you guys like, what's going on in the world right now? I mean, I've been in here for years.
Yeah.
Is it still Tuesday?
Yeah, for another hour.
10:30?
Yeah.
10:33?
We were figuring out who was going to pace him just because the timeline changed so much. His original pacer ended up having to leave, and Jackie stepped up.
Shout out to his wife and my sweet daughter-in-law that supports him so strongly and really doesn't think about herself a lot of times and just wants to do his dream and his passion. And if that's running 250 miles, then we're here to support him.
Kudos to her. It's middle of the night. She had a 4-hour hike ahead of her, keeping her husband going.
Sun rose, woke up, got some food, got moving with Tim, paced me that section, and we had a great section. We were cruising. Again, yeah, those mornings always felt good. There was hope in the air. There was promise, and things seemed possible in the morning. They didn't seem possible at night.
Why don't you tell us about the last few hours, Eric?
Well, Wednesday morning, what, about 9 o'clock?
Something like that.
We're off to a pretty good start today. We're in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. No place I'd rather be. We're at about course mile 142. I don't want to think about it, but I guess I'll say it. We have 108 miles to go. So we're just gonna keep trucking, baby. Hi, Mom.
Great to see you.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
Got good reports on your progress.
We're doing great.
Well, we got into Sedona. I was feeling good. I knew it was next. I knew I had that second big climb. Again, you know, when I broke it down, it was like Mingus climb, Kasner climb, Eldon climb. So it's like we're about to knock out the second of 3.
Can I get water in both the soft flasks and split a
So I sat down and I was eating a burrito and like drinking whatever and like, you know, we're shooting the shit.
Right now,
Tim, come eat with me. Tim.
Kind of buzz. Tim like noticed this. I didn't bring this up and he brought it up after the fact. But like all of a sudden something came over me. Well, I shouldn't say something. It was something very specific, and that was what the hell I was doing.
Sharing a love seat together. You know, 150 miles into this thing. Legs are still feeling pretty good. It's crazy we're gonna run this whole thing together. All the way back to my house. It was crazy.
It was like, you know, that small moment when all of a sudden you think about it, and I was like, oh fuck, like I gotta get out of here. I mean, this isn't, I have so far to go. And that was, you know, it felt like, you know, a morning run with a buddy, you know, that you've done countless times. You know, you wake up, early run, finish up, have a burrito, you know, gonna have the rest of the day to get shit done. But like, I didn't have that. Tim had that. You know, he was done, but it's like, I was just getting started for the day. So very quickly, and it was seen again by some, but maybe not all, I kind of went inside myself, a little bit internal, and was freaking out a little bit. When I started running in general, it was always, I think what motivated me, what I found just more intriguing than anything else, what kept me doing it, was the idea that I could go farther. Very in particular, or specifically, what I thought was so cool about it is I would think about it and think I can go 12 miles when I'd never run 12 miles. And then I would go out and do it. And that is, it's just a really powerful thing to experience. The ability to connect those two things. It gives you the sense that you could do anything. Yeah.
it's a pretty long stretch.
Yeah.
That can all be called like the never-ending climb.
Do you have to go up Casner Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the road just never stopped climbing.
With the goal of only finishing, you kind of put your back up against the wall. You have to ask yourself, like, can I really not take another step, you know? And then, like, can I not take another step? Can I not take another step? Because, like, the goal is only to finish. Like, you have the time. Why stop?
I scratch my head about this 250 miles, but then I think, you know, at least it doesn't have to be continuous. You can take a break. And so maybe that's his sweet spot, that the distance he can endure if he can break along the way.
It's like, do you know where that line is? Have you experienced it? And I think that's so awesome about a lot of these athletes. You know, you got to find that line and go past it.
And then we're gonna chat like.
That's awesome.
Eric. Oh, that's so good.
Your foot swollen for those?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I got the thanks.
You're the man. Take care of my son.
See you in 16. Love you. Thanks, guys.
All right, you bet.
See you, buddy.
Oh yeah, so Munns Park, did the out and back. My buddy Joey paced me. It was great. It was during the night too. We moved super well, which was awesome.
I'm out here at mile 180. My pacer, Joey.
Absolutely corking one right now.
Corking one. He busted out the sticks, which means it's time for business. We got about 8 miles back to Munns Park. And then punching that express ticket home. So, what time? It's like 11? It's like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So, got some darkness ahead, but should be nice.
Awesome.
Over and out.
And then got a little more shut eye, and then Jared Hazen was supposed to pace me, and I learned during the previous stretch, or I don't know when I learned it, who knows, time wasn't real. Jared got COVID, so he couldn't pace me anymore.
Dylan here. So, long story short,
Jared got COVID.
Yeah, Jared got COVID, and a spot opened up to pace from, what was that place called?
Munns Park.
From Munns Park to Fort Tuthill. And I'm filling in.
Look pretty ragtag, huh?
I mean, you're enjoyable to talk to so far.
Yeah, but my look.
Yeah, what's going on with your feet?
They got taped up. They're gonna get better. But, you know, they went through some hard times. And then I had to cut, I didn't do it. Kevin, maybe? Someone cut these pants so I could get them on. So, whoever that person is, they owe me a set of pants. These are useless now.
What about the fact that you told him to do it?
I can't be held accountable for anything I say. Yeah, so maybe we'll finish today. Maybe we'll finish tomorrow. It's a real TBD situation. But, you know what they say, early bird gets the worm. We are early birds. And the finish line is a worm. Are my eyes puffy?
Like at times when Eric was out there, I was at home and I was thinking like, I wonder what that would be like to be, 200 miles in and have like 50 to go. Like in my mind, I was almost thinking like, well, lower intensity, you get to sleep, like you get to eat real food, like, maybe it's not that bad. But I was following Eric and I knew that things weren't like smooth sailing and it wasn't all fun. And then eventually I did leave the house and I got in my car and I met Eric around Lake Mary Road as he crossed. So, he was well over 200 miles in at this point. And I saw the way he was running. And I was like, he looks miserable.
I remember at the beginning of the race, you said that you don't think this is going to be more difficult than any races you've already done.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
It's called a category error. That's what I did. I made a category error. And it's like, comparing celery to oranges. Different categories. You compare celery and carrots and oranges with apples. So, what am I saying, Dylan? What I'm saying is, this is absolutely the hardest thing I've ever done. But maybe I had to pretend like it wasn't going to be, or else I never would have started.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you have ice packs?
Yeah. Should we do that?
I don't know. I didn't want to put it directly on.
Oh, do I have fresh socks?
Yep.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of clothes options.
So call me crazy. I was thinking, bought 2 bottles in the waistband, wet shirt, bandana. Yeah, this pack's killing me. It's so heavy. I don't need extra layers. I can fit a ton of stuff in my waist.
Yeah. Could you do a handheld? I have a handheld in the car.
Yeah, I could do a handheld.
I think he really likes experiencing these things with a group of people too.
He really cares about people and his surroundings and his community and where he lives and operates out of.
I think he has some of the biggest support groups that come to his races and ultras that he does. I think which is speaks to his character and quality as a person, a human, a friend. I think he overall enjoys the whole experience of it with other people, testing himself, seeing what he's capable of.
Going into this, it was like, look, get from point A to point B to point C, point C to point D. Just focus on that. Don't worry about what mile you're at, how far you have to go, etc. That kind of went out the window on this section because I was like, Walnut's the last one. Got to get to Walnut. Like, get to Walnut Canyon, aid station, and that's it. Like, once I leave there, there's no turning back. I'm getting done.
We're doing it. 21 more.
Hell yeah, honey.
Hello, hello. How y'all doing? Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, let's take that shirt off real quick.
Yeah. So right now we're at Walnut Canyon, which is mile 229. So we have 21 miles ahead of us, and we got to go over Mount Eldon. which is, kind of a prominent peak in Flagstaff. So yeah, we got to get over that thing, and then it's a smooth cruise back home. We're gonna go right by his house.
Well, Steve wasn't gonna put up with any bullshit. Like, I wanted to sleep, and he was like, "No, you're not sleeping. You don't need to sleep. We just got to get over the hill." The local hill, as we like to call it.
He's pissed, but he's very excited. Dude, it's gonna be easy. I'm telling you how buttery this next section is. Just butter. How many times have we gone up Eldon together, man? One more. One more time. One more time. So that's what we got.
He's not the man I wanted, but he's the man I needed for the last stretch.
Steve, what do we got? All right, we got potato chips. Let's start this up. We got pancakes. There's a croissant, some chocolate stuff, and this is a hummus and avocado sandwich. And then there's also mac and cheese, Eric.
Yeah, we have mac and cheese. Just get
You want to get your legs up, but I'm gonna put this on yours.
Like trying to compete, you spend so much time like focus on a very small corner of the sport. Like you spend a lot of time trying to get like these last like 2-3% out of yourself, and like it's not always the most fun thing. Like, there's a lot of days where it's like I'd rather go do like a fun long run than go do this workout or something. But like through that, you've created like a body that is able to like do some like incredible things that not a lot of other people can do.
That's too much going on. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Did it. We'll see you up there.
Yeah, money.
All
Take
around.
care, Steven. Got to see Steven.
Great. Thanks.
And yeah, maybe you should take advantage of that and like, go experience something like, more epic, kind of broaden your horizons like in the sport of running. And, the experience Eric had at Cocodona, I don't think I'll ever grasp it unless I, did it myself. But, obviously it was a worthwhile thing to do.
We are making our way towards Eldon. Eric's got the sticks out. About 16 miles to go, and then we're putting a nail in this thing. You did it. Nice job. Nice job, man.
But we're on the top of Eldon, and like my legs are starting to basically be trashed. I think it's one of those things too. It's like your brain's sort of like overriding your body because it knows it has to accomplish what you want. But then you get a taste of almost being done, and your brain sort of like eases off, and then all of a sudden like the physical manifestations of everything you've done just sort of present themselves. It was sort of like that. Like I could not run.
Yeah, now this has only happened to me like once or twice in my life. But if you ever got to the brink of like the guy upstairs is about to say goodnight, like you're that far from slipping away. I was there. On that climb at one point, I was like, hang on, stay with us. Stay with us.
So far from where I want to be, but out here's a different kind of free. And I'm bound to find the things I need, guided by my yesterdays. In the future me, the path I chose. Easy roads for the sake of growth. I'll take the long way home. I'll take the long way home.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not. No one's ready.
Always here. It's always here.
This world is more than meets the eye, and this life is all about the ride. So I've come to rise, I've come to climb. The canyon in my soul, the mountains on my mind, the path I chose. No easy roads, for the sake of growth. I'll take the long way home. I'll take the long way home.
Alright. There you go.
Like if you told my 15-year-old self or something like, one day you're gonna do 250 miles. I don't know. For some reason it brings tears in my eyes. It just seems impossible. Even though I did it. Yeah. It's just crazy what you can convince yourself of. It's one thing to tell yourself you can do something, but the empowerment that comes with actually being able to do it, there's just nothing like it.
Testing yourself, I think, is what everybody needs to do in a culture where things are fairly easy, things are quite comfortable. We click buttons and things show up at our house. We click buttons and food shows up at our house. And I have 2 young kids, and I see the importance of teaching them like adversity and having to struggle when it's so easy not to struggle.
Yeah, we're live. Welcome to the real world, she said to me, condescendingly.